Hi there, everybody, and welcome. Good afternoon. So, today we are going to be chatting about a topic that is going to be very relevant for you if you are in a place where you have grown your business to a point where it earns good money, it's okay money, and you're feeling ready to become a legitimate business owner. Now, I've heard this a lot from a lot of people recently, that they don't quite feel legitimate because they don't know their numbers. They don't know what they need to know. They don't know what to track. And when they do, or if they do track some things, they don't really know what it means or how to interpret it. And there's a great sense that to feel legitimate, they want to be able to feel confident about planning for the future and take out some of the risk out of their decision making by having a way to predict what could happen and what the alternatives could be, so they can make strong, confident decisions around hiring more team, about moving their business in a new direction, about setting up new services or new delivery methods. And they want to be able to trust they can do this and make these shifts and changes in their business while still paying themselves a good, healthy salary. They don't want to take a pay cut, and they want to still be able to balance or increase the time freedom that they spend inside their business without limiting their business's potential and future growth. So before we dive right in, I just want to quickly introduce myself for those of you who do not know me and haven't met me yet. So I am Laura Cook, a business money mentor, and I work with service-based female entrepreneurs. And I've been doing this work with purpose-driven businesses for well over 15 years now, and I come with a strong accounting background. Now, the reason I am bringing the work that I do online here, which I've been doing for over a year now, is I just see so many amazing women doing fantastic work with their clients inside of their business, but becoming quite overwhelmed and feeling limited by the sense of their business finances. As well as I also see that there is a strong presence of accountants and bookkeepers out there who are genuinely focusing on what's necessary from accountancy practices, looking at the past, looking at past data, past performance. But what I find is most beneficial and biggest value to business owners themselves is when we're able to take the information that we have and really start to look at the future and use it to make strong, confident decisions, project forward, and help you to improve your cash flow. So that is what I do, and that is why we're here today. So let's dive right in to some of the things that I see coming up for female entrepreneurs at this stage of their business. So once you've reached this stage where your business is doing well, it's often a point where your business, your money is no longer simple maths. It's no longer you're going out doing a piece of work for a day and getting paid for the time that you invest. Your business isn't that simple anymore. You can't just figure out the numbers on the back of a napkin. So you've often got team, or you're about to hire team. You're taking on bigger contracts where you maybe have to invest money up front to book rooms for training, or hire other trainers to support you, or coaches to support you to deliver big pieces of work. So you're dealing in bigger amounts of money. It's become a bit more risky. The cash flows are going up and down more significantly than they were before. Or maybe it could be a case where you've actually feel like you've outgrown your business. So you've set up a business that maybe is a lot of you doing a lot of consultancy work, or you're doing a lot of photography projects with clients, and you're doing a lot of the in-person work and a lot of the behind the scenes work, and you no longer want to do all the client delivery anymore. You want a bit more time freedom back, or you've evolved in the sense that you work with an awful lot of people, but you realize you get a lot more energy and enjoyment out of working deeper and more one-to-one with clients. And so you're looking to kind of shift your business in a slightly different direction. But you again don't want to do that by taking a pay cut. You don't want to sacrifice your income and your time freedom to be able to do that, but you don't see how you can make that transition. So often a big fear that comes up here is like, how can you do all this? How can you make those numbers work? There's a fear around not wanting to feel financially strapped and restricted, and maybe slipping back into a scarcity deprivation mindset that maybe you went through, and quite a lot of us go through when we first start our businesses. And those fears are very, very real. You want to maintain some level of financial stability, but you still want to make progress towards the vision that you have. And oftentimes what is missing is that you just don't know what numbers and what information you need to look at and where you can get that from, or how to interpret the information you might have already. And so you may either avoid looking at your numbers, or not looking at them because they don't make sense, or completely winging it, and have come and some situations have maybe come back to bite you where you haven't had enough cash to fund them. Or maybe you just completely guess and base your choices and your decisions on incomplete information. A few other things that come up that I often see at this stage is that maybe you've had a business before that has failed because it ran out of cash, and you're afraid that you might repeat that pattern, and you don't want to take as many risks, and you realize you're not investing as much as you can in your business. You're not taking as many chances. You're limiting your business, you're limiting your potential, you're limiting the impact and reach you can have on your potential clients, because you don't feel confident in the money that you have in your business and confident in making good money decisions. And this can lead you to feeling like you're starting to burn out because you're just trying to hold everything together. So here you're really and you're really ready to feel legitimate. You want to get your head around the numbers. You want to understand the money. You want to feel like you have more confidence in the decisions you're taking, so you can potentially take bigger risks because you have more certainty over what you need to do to make those things happen. And you want to be able to feel safe and have more control and certainty, and be able to identify if any of your decisions are going off track well before they come and bite you in the butt. So another thing that I also see coming up with a few of my clients is that often you've hustled really, really hard, where you're ready to get your time freedom back. You're exhausted, you're burnt out, you're done with being the person who does all the earning and that you only earn when you show up. So if you're sick, you take a holiday, you earn no money. You're done with that stage of being in your business, and you just don't want to deliver fully to your clients anymore. But you're not sure how to make the numbers work if you hire a team. And when you don't know how many more clients you need, you don't know what kind of profit margins you're going to make, you don't know how much cash you need to invest and when that money's going to go out and when that money's going to come in, it can feel quite scary and quite intimidating, and you just don't know if you can afford it. You don't know if it's possible, and so you prevent yourself from taking the risk. Or you've potentially taken the risk and you're realizing that you're having to take a personal pay cut and reducing how much you pay yourself in order to sustain this team you've now employed. So the gap here, again, is a lack of clarity in the information you have available, a lack of clarity around how much profit you genuinely make from each client and how many more clients you need to take on in order to fund the team and fund yourself well, so that you can take a little bit of a step back and gain more time freedom inside of your business. So what I often do with my clients, there are 3 key things that I do with my clients in order to support them through this transition process once they reach this place of growth in their business. So the very, very first the first key practice that I introduce to clients is to have a routine money date. So each and every week, month, quarter, and every year, there are specific things you want to check in with around your money. And we want to get you to a place where you have an intimate check-in with your money. You know your money inside out. You don't have to be doing all the bookkeeping, figuring out and adding up all the receipts, but you do need to have a really strong, solid overview of what's going on now and what we think is going to happen in the future, so you can really step up to being the CEO and make the changes and drive your business forward towards the vision that you have as strongly as possible. So we cover all things from checking your bank statements on a day-to-day basis right through to doing quarterly pricing reviews to make sure your prices are profitable and still make sense in the market and for the value you're adding. And we also review things like what is the risk and what is the ROI of investing in certain projects inside your business. Now, these are simply a meeting that you would have with yourself as CEO of the business, CFO of the business, to make sure that you understand how the money is flowing through your business, what you might need to tweak in order to bring money in, and in order to give yourself greater time freedom. It's about staying on top of your numbers, learning the valuable insights from your data so that you can hold yourself accountable and move forward towards your goals by seeing any gaps that may be occurring. And the way I do this with my clients is we build this out together. We really focus on what information is most important to track for your specific business. Where are the potential risks? What is it most important for you to invest in? And we really assess the opportunities inside your business to really maximize and get the most cash coming in, and so that you can make the best decisions to get you where you want to go. So we look at how we can set up the information, the systems, so they're fully optimized for you. Now, I really do hear that one of the biggest challenges for female entrepreneurs is that they want to understand how their money flows. They want to understand what are the key things to look out for and really get the systems up and running and tracking properly. They don't necessarily want to do all of this themselves, but often what they want to do is they want to fully understand this before they're able to feel confident enough to delegate some of these systems and processes out into a team or to hire people to support them with this. And that is where I'm able to help my clients get that really solid understanding so that they know what they need to know, and they're clear on what their team are supporting them with and what their team should be doing and when they should be doing things, so they can feel confident in that process, especially when it's no longer simple maths and it's no longer just about you trading your time for money. And that is what I find helps people feel really legitimate, confident business owners. So the second piece that I often take my clients through is to get really, really clear on where their business is going. Because it's really helpful to have a solid, clear vision and get really clear on how you want to make an impact to your clients, to your business, in your personal life. What impact are you trying to make? Because so many of us have set up our businesses to make a difference, to make an impact in the world. But what does that really mean? And how does that influence the type of business model you need, how much money you need to make, how much of a team you need, and how you're going to deliver your services and how you're going to set those services up. And once you're clear on your vision and the impact, it really helps us get clear on what business model is going to work for you and how we can set that up so that you have the time freedom and the energy freedom and you're investing in the right places. So this could look like, for example, maybe you get really clear on whether you're somebody who wants to dive deep with a few clients compared to somebody who wants to train and support or deliver courses to people en masse, in which case you need hundreds or thousands of clients at any one time, compared to somebody who wants to go deep and make a deeper impact with an individual, probably only needs like 10 clients or so a year or at a time. It's a very different business model, very different pricing, very different investment choices for your business. And so the clearer we are with that, the quicker we can get you where you want to be, the more aligned you're going to feel, the more energy you're going to have. And also we're not going to waste money, time and energy on following a business model just because it looks good and it works well for somebody else. This is all about getting it right for you. And the third piece that I focus on most frequently with my clients at this stage is how we can improve their cash flow. Now, having grown your business to where it is now, you've probably started to already hire a team. Your outgoings have increased. You've got monthly payroll going out, monthly payments to suppliers going out, and you have a greater sense of responsibility to make sure your team get paid each and every month. And that can bring a huge amount of stress, especially when we're not clear on when the money is coming in order to fund that as well. And it's quite sad how frequently I see so many business owners taking a pay cut just to make sure their team and their suppliers get paid, and then they'll pay themselves whatever's left, which could be very little, or they might miss a few payments themselves because we haven't got their cash flow optimized. And that is what I love to focus on with my clients. Now, cash is phenomenally king when it comes to business. If you don't have enough cash, your business will seriously not last very long at all. But there are certain ways we can strategically look at your cash to really optimize this so that you can have as much cash in your business as possible by bringing the money in from clients quicker and looking at how we can maybe stage payments out to your suppliers. There are various strategies around that. And what we do is we look at this from a basic standpoint of what you need to track each and every day. So how do we set up a process to make sure every client gets invoiced? A process to make sure we're checking who's paid, who hasn't paid. If somebody hasn't paid, do we have a system in place to chase that money? And how does that escalate if people still persist in not paying? So we look at how do we get you paid as effortlessly and quickly as possible. Now, it might not be you who does all of this work, it might be your team, but we need to get these systems in place as soon as possible. So often what my clients find when they start to do this work is that they'll notice that when their bank balance is healthy, that they spend a little too freely and a little too easily. And what can happen there is they sometimes end up in situations where they don't have the cash and the financial resources to be able to invest in opportunities as they arise or as they're ready to move on to that next stage of their business. And so that's where I really support them in getting really clear on whether they're in a cash generation profit mode. And we're kind of looking at how do we optimize how much cash we can bring into the business, or are you in a growth mode, an investment mode, in which case you're going to be probably spending a lot more money on investment projects, investing in developing new services, investing more in marketing to bring in a different type of client potentially. So more money is going to be going out, and how can we make sure that you can fund that in a way that is sustainable and that allows you and your business to grow in a healthy way? So I hope that you have really enjoyed today's conversation. As I say, I support female entrepreneurs to really get strategic about the money inside of their business and really align that to their vision and their business goals so that they can be financially sustainable in a way that allows them to grow and allows them to have a greater peace of mind and still be able to pay themselves a healthy salary. Now, if you have enjoyed today's conversation, then I would love for you to join me again next week, the same time on Money Doesn't Have to Be Stressful.